The angry Christians. So I just remembered this after talking about high school with a friend and it jogged my memory. So I went to a Christian high school. Of course they accepted people of every faith. They weren't that kind of Christian school you sometimes hear about. Well, one day when I was in year 9, maybe 10. I'm in the UK by the way, so ages 13-15. We got invited to go on a Christian retreat, which is basically a bunch of students who signed up for it going to a building like a big sleep over. Going hiking, obviously talking about religion and generally having a good time. Now something to note. I was and quite frankly still am in emo, so I was listening to a lot of different bands and singers that wouldn't be considered Christian. Anyway, me and about 15 other students signed up for this retreat. Most of us weren't religious, but it was a good time to get away from things. It was only a couple hours away from our school, but the mountains and greenery made it so peaceful. Well, on the first day there we got asked to come into the hall, introduce ourselves and talk about what was going on. Then they decided to have a little fun. I want us to go around and talk about our T-shirts and share why we wore them, said one of the Christian ladies. No one put their hand up to volunteer, so she started picking on people. She picked one guy who had a generic t-shirt on and he was reluctant to say anything. Come on now. Talk about why you wore your t-shirt and what it means to you. You've got to do it. It's a fun little icebreaker. Quote, the boy awkwardly said that he wore it because he liked the brand and the color, and that was that. Then she saw my friendly face. Not kidding. Even though I was an emo, I was super smiley. She said, oh, would you like to tell us all what's on your t-shirt and why you wore it? Come on, show us all how it's done. Quote, oh well, she did ask for it. I'm wearing a band t-shirt because I like listening to their music. And what does that writing say? Quote, going to hell. Silence. Well, needless to say, we did not continue playing that icebreaker game, and from them on they didn't really like me. Still had some fun though. Damn. You wore a shirt that says, going to hell, to a religious retreat. I love it. Religion is like a penis. It's nice to have one and fine to be proud of. Don't whip it out in public or shove it down someone else's throat. It remembers me of something shirt-related in my younger years. I went to a Catholic school run by a monastery in Germany from grade 5 to 10. Although my family is not religious at all, the school had just a very good reputation. When entering 7th grade, you had a mass every 2 weeks where the pupils had to participate and also had to finish some tasks like the altar service, reading prayers, etc. I was deep into death metal at that time and wore band shirts. To avoid being disrespectful, I wore a jacket over the shirts during mass. In one mass my teacher told me I had to read out intercessions. On my way to the altar he whispered, "Take off the jacket. That's disrespectful." Then he looked away. I took my jacket off and made my way to the altar with a pic of Jesus crucified upside down and burning in flames on my back. I made it halfway to the altar when my teacher nervously called me back, made me put my jacket on and quietly sit on the bench for the rest of the mass. I never had to do such tasks again. Hell wouldn't be such a bad place if it wasn't full of self-proclaimed Christians. I'm kinda curious what band that was for. And I found and have been trying to revive our band t-shirts if anyone wants to share theirs. Help some Christian friends with some heavy manual work concreting some area behind their church. Got invited to a friend's breakfast on a regular basis, and one day we had a bunch of street preachers in. So we were all asked what church we worshipped at. Told them that I was an atheist after having Father Xmas explained when I was about 12. A rather vocal street preacher asked WTF had invited an atheist into the church. My host was the priest. Quoted the Bible in such a way that there was no possible comeback. Never saw the street preacher again. If only you had liked AC/DC, it could have been the Highway to Hell tour. Lol. You guys are baddies. Love it. My story doesn't involve a t-shirt. But in 7th grade, Catholic school, we went to an older city with super old churches. It was one after another. One in particular had floors of marble, and near the altar were 2 sections of different colored tile or whatever it was. The gold was to signify heaven and the red hell. Well, we were making some noise. Clearly bored. You should have seen the faces when the chaperones and priest all turned around to see the whole bunch of us trying to fit everyone on the red section. Could the woman not read? Why would she ask you to read it what was on your shirt if she didn't like it and was going to end the game there? I went to one of these. They did karaoke, but all the backing tracks were for devotional songs. So I sang Enter Sandman and Flagpole Sitta a cappella. It went over surprisingly well. Always hated those icebreaker things. You want to get people talking. Put on a weird play or put some odd pics or sculptures around. You're a hero. Op. I still can't understand why my fellow Christians can't be a little more resilient or understanding to that sort of thing. Like, I get that what it says when interpreted seriously is pretty heavy. But it's from a genre that aims to let out all their negative emotions as a release. What would you expect? That little game they invented on the spot was aimed at you. Designed to embarrass you and condition your behavior. They knew exactly what your shirt said. Lol. When I was religious, my favorite band was Cradle of Filth and had a ton of Mother. Them. Yeah. My mom wasn't a great fan. I had to go to a Christian, Catholic retreat my senior year of high school. I came back suicidal, anxious, and depressed. Yay. If I was more together, I probably would have worn a shirt like Ops just to start fights. When I was in high school, mid-80s, my friend invited me to a week-long Pentecostal tent revival retreat. My family isn't religious at all, and I had never been to summer camp or anything like that. So I didn't really know what to expect. But another friend was also going, and it sounded fun. I listened to mostly heavy metal, punk, rap, and death metal, but also liked folk and old country. But I knew this would be a conservative crowd, so packed clothes like I was going to visit my grandma's. We had sorted through our tape selections, and brought a few that we thought would be acceptable. This was during all the satanic panic, so we knew no AC/DC, Kiss, Ozzy, never mind Sod or the Mentors. We ended up being brought up in front the entire congregation at service for a mini exorcism, laying on of hands to rid our minds of the devil because someone had heard us listening to devil music. It was pretty intense. My friend's church was old school. People speaking in tongues and staggering around getting drunk with the Spirit. The song that got us in trouble, Alice's Restaurant by Arlo Guthrie, rolling on the floor laughing. Could the staff not have read it before they asked you? Or was it some fancy writing that was hard to read? Wow, so malicious of you. There's a Ferengi rule of acquisition about asking questions. She FA and FO! Exclamation mark. Rolling on the floor laughing.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.